Hey guys, welcome back to Container Crops, the Scaredy Cat Gardener. Oh my goodness, it is an amazing, beautiful day here in Zone 7B. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today on my porch. Oh my goodness, I want to talk about things that you need to do right now for a successful fall garden. I've got a list of 8 tips for you because it's now officially summer. I think the actual first day of summer was maybe a day or two ago. And believe it or not, if you want a successful garden, now is the time to plan for it.
Show off your fantasy reality, whoa, that's yours, but I'll keep doing mine. You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.
Okay guys, we are back, but before we get started, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are returning, thank you for your loyal support and for you continuing to return to my videos. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much to my channel members. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you are new, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. Give the video a thumbs up and share it out. Share it out to everyone you know, family, friends, and foe, because I am sure they could use this information too. Okay, I think that's all the yard work we need. Oh, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at Container Crops, and you can always follow me on IG, Scaredy Cat Gardener. Okay, our yard work is done, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, like I said before, according to the calendar, summer is officially here, and it officially ends September 22nd. And now is the time to do certain things to ensure you have a successful garden. Most gardens need to start their fall garden actually in mid-summer. So we have maybe about 30-45 days, and then we need to start getting our starts started, our seedlings started. So you can't wait to do the things that I'm about to tell you when it's time to plant the seedlings. These things need to be done now. Now, personally, for me, I love fall gardening. I love it better than summer gardening. I have actually considered only planting a certain handful of vegetables in the summer, the ones that absolutely need the heat, because everything that I really love to eat, my family loves to eat, and what I especially love to grow, they grow in the cooler weathers. I'm in zone 7B, so I have a pretty long growing season. It varies year to year. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. Right now, we can't really go absolutely 100% by our zones and our frost dates. The reason I say that is because the climate is basically upside down. I mean, we're having winters that are not even winters in some places, and other places are freezing in the fall, and it's just upside down. So we need to learn how to grow according to our zone, but according to where we really live, by paying attention to the elements that are happening every day. For myself, if it's going to rain, I can smell the rain coming well before it. If it's going to snow, I can smell the snow well before it hits. We need to become in tune to our senses so that we can know when to plant. We need to look up. We need to look at the moon, the sun, and the stars, and we need to determine when we can plant, what we can plant. Now, all that was not a part of these 8 things. It just came about as I was speaking about the fact that here we are at summertime, and midsummer is the time to get going. So enough of the rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the 8 things. Okay, the first thing you need to do, if you're planting from seed, which most people plant some things at least for seeds. We try to plant most things from seeds, and only when that doesn't work, or it's something that we know we have a hard time growing from seed, do we buy our starts. However, if you're planting from seeds, and if you're like me and a lot of gardeners, you have accumulated quite a few seeds. So you need to go through the seeds. I know it sounds like a chore, but it's the beginning of summer, and this is why you need to start now. You need to pull out all your seeds, and you need to look at them, and you need to go by the dates. The same principle that applies to your pantry, your food pantry, and your stockpile: first in, first out. Don't hang on to seeds that you've had for 2 years and plant the same seed, like a carrot seed you've had for 2 years, and now you've got a new batch. Plant the old ones. And you want to start everything early in case it doesn't germinate, then move up to the next date. But you need to move the old seeds out first and accumulate, because seeds, like anything else, lose their germination rate over time. And so if you have seeds from 5 or 6 years, they may not germinate. So why are you hanging on to them? House clean. House clean. And the only way you can house clean with seeds is by planting them. So bring out the old ones. Be prepared to start those seedlings early. Indoors, outdoors, wherever you're going to do it at, do it early. So if it doesn't germinate, then you know to move up to the next date. And if it does germinate, woohoo, that means you just got more seeds, and that's a wonderful thing. So first in, first out on the seeds. Okay, the next thing you want to do is, once you determine what seeds you want to plant, you need to do your research on the seeds. You need to see, what does that seed need in order for it to be successful? What fertilizer does it need? Does it need a special fertilizer? What amendments does it need? What watering? What lighting does it need? Where do you need it? Will it grow good in a container, or is this something that really grows best in the ground? There are most everything will grow as well in a container as it does in the ground, but you maybe have more of an abundance in the ground than you would in a container for certain crops. But it doesn't mean you can't grow it in a container, because I found I can grow anything in a container that I can grow in the ground. But you want to find out, making a list of everything that you've decided to grow. Make sure you have your list written out, or use a spreadsheet, or however you want to do it, but make a list, and make a list of the needs of each item so that you can be prepared for those needs. Okay, now the next one I'm going to touch on is really this is my top number one thing that you need to do now. Whatever fertilizers you need, amendments you need, anything that you need for a successful fall garden that you need to purchase, be it at your local hardware store or online, please, people, do it now. Do not wait until you need it. Don't wait until fall comes, when everybody's going to rush and buy their 511 or their fertilizer or whatever, and the stores will be out. The shelves may be empty. Online may be out. Purchase it now. Another thing, prices are rising in every category. So maybe you don't have $200 or $300 to go and just buy everything at once. Maybe you have to buy it step by step, month by month, or week by week, or day by day, or whatever. And if that's the case, you really need to get started now so that you can purchase it. I personally would make a list of everything I need, and don't buy just one. If you're buying, let's just say 511, it comes in that little thing. You can get a larger gallon, but don't just buy one, buy two. That way you know you'll have it. What happens if you knock it over by chance? You don't want to run out. So make sure you have enough of all of the amendments and fertilizers that you use, whatever they may be. Now, I have certain fertilizers and amendments that I use in my garden no matter what, and I'm going to always have those. But make sure you have your neem oil and your I can't even think of it, your bone meal and your blood meal if you're using that. Make sure you have it. Make sure you have compost if you don't have a compost bin. I don't have a compost bin right now, so I use mushroom compost. So I make sure I have bags of it already, so that if I go out and my garden needs something, I don't have to go anywhere but maybe to my garage or my shed, and I just go get what I need. So plan for what your fall garden is going to need and buy it now. This price going up is no joke. So don't spend an astronomical amount. Right now, everybody's summer garden is blooming and going, and they pretty much have all they want. So right now, I've checked and I've seen the prices are kind of stabilized. So you want to get what you need to get now before you need it again and they start rising. Okay, next tip, walk your land, walk your garden, walk your area and plan where you want each one of those packs of seeds or starters to go. Where do you want to plant them at? It's important to do that because you may be growing something that's a summer crop, but that will extend its life well into the winter or into fall, such as indeterminate tomatoes. If you are growing indeterminate tomatoes, and if you have a small space garden like I do, you have to make a decision. Do I want to let my indeterminate plants continue to grow throughout the fall, or do I want to remove them and start a whole nother fall crop? Indeterminate tomatoes will grow until you hit at least 32 degrees or below. So that means you've got to be at freezing before they will stop producing. So do I want to leave this whole bed that I have full of indeterminate tomatoes in place and continue to get them? However many they grow, I may have an abundance, I may not. Or do I want to remove them when I'm planting my fall garden and say, okay, you know what? I've had enough tomatoes this year. Let me grow something different. So this is why you need to walk your garden and decide where you want. Do I want my cabbage here? Do I want my broccoli there? What do you want where? And do you have enough space for the items that you want to grow and being able to leave your summer crops that have not ended yet in place? So those are some of the decisions you need to make now so that you won't have to wonder or start thinking about it or do something haphazardly, like rip out your tomatoes and say, oh my God, that plant was really producing. I should have left it there. So walk your garden, walk your land, walk your container garden, decide what you want to plant where in your garden, and do that now too. Okay, so another thing that you want to do is research what you've decided to grow for the fall and determine where you want to plant it based off of what's planted in that spot now. As an example, you want to plant vegetables and fruits behind something that will benefit from what was there before. As an example, corn. Behind corn, good things to plant are radish, pumpkins, winter rye, things like that will grow well in the same spot you had your corn in. So do your research and determine, okay, I've got my tomatoes here. What's going to grow good in this bed after my tomatoes? With me leaving the soil and just amending the soil, what next should I plant in that spot? Now, this is something that you're going to want to do as time goes on, as your summer crops end. It's not necessarily something to do right now, but it's something to start thinking about because, at least for me, for what I've planted, some of my summer crops will end at varying times. They're not going to all end at the same time and stop growing. They fruited, they've produced, and that's it. Not all at the same time. So you want to make sure that you research. So once your summer crops come to an end, you can decide, okay, I've got a few more weeks here. I'm going to drop some more seeds. Or you can be proactive for your fall garden and amend that soil in preparation of the fall garden. It's always good to be able to amend your soil at least 2 weeks. I like to do it anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days before I plant in my next crop. If you don't or can't, you don't have that kind of time, it's like, boom, my summer ended, here's fall, I need to plant, then it's not a deal breaker. But when you amend your soil and give it a chance to sit in those pots, sit in those containers for that couple of weeks, it soaks up those amendments before you get ready to drop those seeds. So if you can do that, that's a big plus. Another thing you want to do, just like you were buying your, and this really kind of goes with the other one, but I had it separated on my notes, so it's going to be one. But make sure you have frost protection so that if the weather goes haywire quicker than anticipated and it turns really cold and we have this frost coming unexpectedly, you're prepared. Again, these things are not cheap. They may or may not be readily available. The ones you pick, the ones you want, roll covers. Make sure you have whatever you need to protect your plants from frost so that if it's nice, sunny, and warm one day and the weather report says we're going to drop down overnight and we're going to be freezing for the next 2 nights, you can run outside and take care of your plants, not have to run to the local hardware store or to the local store. Again, don't wait. Get it now, because who's thinking about frost right now? Child, it's 100 degrees. Anybody thinking about frost? So you probably get a good deal on it. If nothing else, it's going to be more reasonably priced now than it will be then. So I'm just saying, get it while you can. Okay, and last but not least, if you have any, and I think this is really one of the most important ones too, if you have any plants that are diseased, make sure you clear out all that matter, all that soil. Do not plant directly behind it. Clear it out, get rid of it, start fresh so that your new seedlings and your new plants won't get contaminated. And whatever you do, do not put that matter into your compost bin. You don't want to do that. You want to just make sure that you clear it out and start fresh. Okay, so that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today again. I hope that these tips will help you going forward. Like I said in the beginning, fall gardens are my most amazing time of the year. I would rather garden in the fall than any other time of the year. I love, love, love brassicas. And this year I have a specific plan to have a purple, blue, and black fall garden, meaning I'm planting everything I can that is blue, purple, and black vegetables. So I need to buy those seeds now because, believe it or not, I went to look for some purple cabbage, a specific kind. They are sold out already. Purple Brussels sprouts, they were sold out already. These are the things I want in my garden this year, so I have to adhere to these rules too. I am looking for the seeds that I do not have. I need any seed for anything that is purple, blue, or black. I have a goal here. So I will be adhering to these things too. So I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. Again, if you are not subscribed, take a second and subscribe to the channel. And please, please turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. It's important for the algorithm that you give me a thumbs up so that this video can be shared and other people can get these tips as well. And please share it out yourself to your family, friends, and foes. I would appreciate that. And until next time, remember, anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant. And I'll see you on the trail.
You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.